I'll give you a little background on myself very quickly. I have a much different track than Steve. Grew up in Cleveland. I'm actually a graduate of Cleveland State. Took me a little while, so went to St. Ignatius, graduated from St. Ignatius. Went here for a little bit. I said, school's not quite for me. So I started working in the golf business. Spent a long time doing that. Got married, had a kid, and realized I really need that degree just to solidify my family's future. So I came back to Cleveland State, worked nights, worked for 10 years for the Indians in a variety of sales and marketing and operations positions, and kind of got the bug, a little bit like Steve, to kind of go out and start a company, be my own boss. So I started a manufacturing startup about 4 years ago. Sold that 2 years ago and started Circuit Technologies about 2 years ago, going back into my expertise in the golf business. So it's a little background on me and how I got connected to Blockland. I read an article about Bernie Moreno and his kind of vision to utilize blockchain technology as a way to kind of transform the Cleveland economy. I had gotten introduced to Bitcoin about 18 months before that, as we were building out our software platform by a couple of developers that were working for us. Wasn't going to fit into what we wanted to do, but it kind of clicked for me, and I went down what a lot of people might call the Bitcoin or blockchain rabbit hole. I'm going to ask a question. How many people have heard of blockchain technology before coming today? One. Anybody heard of Bitcoin? Anybody own any Bitcoin? Oh, you would have got $50 in Bitcoin if there was somebody here. All right. So, as showed up to that meeting with Steve, sat next to Steve, and we both like to talk. We like the sound of our own voices, so we were talking, and we were talking about, hey, we should try and do this conference in like November or December, and it's like 4 months away. That's not a lot of time to get it done. Steve and I had made a few recommendations, and Steve was immediately christened the chairman of the conference, and I was co-chair of a group that had to go out and raise some money. The really cool thing about Blockland, and Steve touched a little bit on the goals and the vision, it is completely open. Anybody can show up. There's no gatekeeper. You don't have to ask a teacher. You don't have to get your parents' permission. If you want to get involved, all you got to do is show up, roll your sleeves up, and do as much work as you want. And that's really, the vision is really to transform the Cleveland economy. And we're not transforming it for us or for Steve or your teachers. This is really about the people sitting in this room at these tables. We are laying the groundwork and the infrastructure for you guys to be able to take advantage of it in the next 5 to 10 years. These are all the people that are working on it. So there's about 800 to 1,000 people volunteering their time, like Steve and I, on 10 different kind of working groups that really stretches across anything that you would touch if you wanted to try and start a company or build a company here in Cleveland in Northeast Ohio. And like what we talked about, Steve and I are really focusing in on the Blockchain Solutions Conference. It's December 1st to the 4th. I'm not going to dive a lot into it because you guys are going to be in school. But what we are trying to do is really get an industry started from scratch. Somebody shout out, how many blockchain developers and companies do you think we have in the city of Cleveland? More than 100? Raise your hand if you think we have more than 100. You're wrong, it's probably less than 100. So what we're doing is we have incredible technical talent in the city of Cleveland and Northeast Ohio. And we've got some great business leaders and entrepreneurs. We want to get those people into a room, and then we're bringing in about 150 people from around the world who have built and executed solutions using blockchain technology in finance, real estate, healthcare, manufacturing, governments, business applications. Get them to come in and tell their story about what they're doing and how they want to change a particular industry. And we want to have those Cleveland industry experts, the Cleveland technical talent in the room, and then get those people talking and start building companies and building applications here in the city of Cleveland, where you guys will be working in 4 to 5 or 6 years when you guys are out of college, or even, to be honest with you, some of you while you're in college. All right. So why blockchain? All of you generally live your lives in a digital space, right? Pretty much everything you do is on your phone, a little bit on tablets and laptops, and probably not too many desktops here. You probably don't. Who knows what a desktop computer is? All right, it's pretty good. You guys operate on the internet a lot, right? The internet is a tool, and when I was young, it was just coming up in the 90s, right? And it was. How many of you guys have ever heard of dial-up internet? You get that sound for like a minute, and then you try and load a picture on your Apple IIc computer, and it'd take about 8 minutes to load a picture. So think about that, right? So you got a picture, from grandma, and it takes 8 minutes to load, and then you're like, all right, what do I do with it now? And you just turn the computer off, right? Now everything's right there, right away, right in front of you, anytime you need it. But you guys sacrifice a lot to be able to have that immediacy, right? So you are giving your data, you're giving your identities to Facebook. You guys probably aren't on Facebook anymore. What are you guys on now? Snapchat? Twitter? What else? Instagram? Anything else out there? TikTok. All right. All right. So where blockchain comes in is that trust aspect that Steve was talking about. So you guys, right now for you guys to transact or communicate or interact with anybody on the internet, you need a platform or a trusted third party there to facilitate that, right? And you guys think it's free, right? I'll give you guys, if anything in life is free, you are the product, right? So people are paying Facebook, paying Google billions and billions of dollars to know everything about you. And you guys don't get, what you get back? You can share silly pictures, and my kids do some crazy things on Snapchat when they take pictures of me and put alien things on my head. Blockchain can change that, right? It can give you ownership of your data, right? So you choose who has access to it. It's not that platform, it's not that trusted third party. And blockchain is consistent, right? So it is the same data is on there for everybody to see. It's immutable, which means it cannot be changed. So once something is put on a blockchain, nobody can come in and hack it and change it. Right? So they can't come in and hack and take your Bitcoin. They can't come in and hack and change your identity. They can't come in and hack and change what you've done in your life. It's what they call decentralized. So a centralized example is Snapchat. So Snapchat has all of your pictures, all of your data, all of your metadata. They know where you are, they know who your friends are, they know where your friends have been, and they can dive into all that and send that out to any advertiser that wants to get into it, right? And they're the only people that can access it. Blockchain is decentralized, so think about this. Every table has a copy of everybody's Snapchat ID, and if I wanted to try and go in and change something, I'd have to get everybody in this room to agree to it. And if somebody says, whoa, that's not right, it doesn't happen. So that's what we talk about, things that are unchangeable, immutable. And it's available, right? So it is what people like to call permissionless, right? So you don't have to ask a company's permission or your parents' permission or your teacher's permission to go out and build an application on a blockchain. If you know how to do it, you can spin it up and share it to the world. And they can't stop you. If I want to go out and buy some Bitcoin, it's mine, right? Government can't come take it. Your parents can't come take it. Your teachers can't come take it. Which I'd imagine in your guys' life, that kind of seems pretty cool, right? Because you guys don't have that very often at your age. So. I won't talk a lot about this. This is really important for you guys. These dates are probably not nearly accurate. They change all the time. But this is really about the hard work in the industry around the world and here in Cleveland is being laid. So we're laying the foundation for this software and this technology. We're not gonna be the ones building the billion-dollar companies. It's gonna be people 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 years old who are in school, out of school, have great ideas, and are able to build on those. So this is just really about all of the future it is available and bright for you. All right, real quick, how to get started. Learn as much as you can. To all the teachers in here, I love you. I had some wonderful teachers. They're not going to be able to teach you about blockchain. You are going to have to teach yourself, right? You are going to have to go out. If this is something you want to learn about, there are thousands of podcasts, thousands of articles. Go and read the Bitcoin white paper, which is the very first example of a blockchain. Dive into it, learn as much as you can. Connect with people. Start a club at your school. Start a blockchain club. We're happy to come help you. We'll come speak. We'll help you get set up. Go to meetups. Find people who are industry experts on social media. I mean, this is such an open and cool community. I listened to a podcast with a Securities and Exchange Commissioner who's actually from Cleveland yesterday morning. It was a fantastic podcast. I sent her a message on Twitter. She responded back to me in 10 minutes, and we went back and forth and had conversation, and then we're trying to get her to come here to Cleveland to talk about some of the regulation around blockchain. That sort of stuff is out there and available for you. And when you're talking to these people, identify the skills that they need and develop them. It is up to you guys. Like, jump in. The long journey starts with one step, and jump in and learn as much as you can. So with that, we'll take some questions.